All right, everyone. It is after 5:30. I will go ahead and call the February 24th, 2021 Royal Oak Charter Review Committee meeting to order. We will start with the roll call. Please state your full name and please remember to state the city from where you are currently from. I will go ahead and start. I am Chairperson Rob Moore, calling in from Detroit.
Chairperson Ryan Everett, calling in from Royal Oak.
Heather Lewis, calling in from Royal Oak.
Charlene Douglas, calling in from Royal Oak.
Yeah, you didn't need my roll call, but Mark was calling in from Royal Oak.
Okay. All right. Good having you, Royal Oak, once again, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. That takes us now to public comment. And Ms. Schwanger, I believe that we are live for public comment. If anyone would like to make any public comment.
You are correct, Chairperson Moore. There are no members in the audience, therefore no public comment today.
All right. Okay, then moving right along. That takes us to the election of officers for 2021. Typically, we have a chairperson and a vice chairperson. I am currently the chairperson of the committee. I believe that Ron George is the current vice chair. We will need to have that election. I would be happy to continue to serve as chairperson if it is the will and pleasure of the committee. So I will open up the floor for discussion.
And just to clarify, it appears I'm looking at our minutes from January 28th, and apparently I was the vice chairperson.
Oh, okay. All right.
I may have forgotten.
I think I probably did too. Ms. Lewis, my apologies. I
it's
didn't
okay. So, but yes, I think I have no interest in being the chair. So that I would nominate. One moment, I'm just looking for something. Yeah, is there, I guess, I don't have any discussion.
Okay.
Nominating Rob, Heather?
Yes, let's nominate Rob. Thank you.
Okay.
Robert Moore.
All right, I accept the nomination. All right. Does anyone have any discussion?
I move the nominations be closed and we elect Rob by acclaim.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to re-elect myself, Rob Morris, the chairperson for the committee for 2021. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Rob, you need to do a roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. You are right. We'll proceed to a roll call vote. My apologies. I vote yes.
Heather Lewis, I vote yes.
Ryan Everett, I vote yes.
Charlene Douglas, yes.
All right. The motion passes. We will now proceed for vice chairperson. Ms. Lewis, are you interested in continuing on as vice chairperson of the committee?
I'm happy to, unless somebody else wants to. I didn't do anything the entire last year for that, but we didn't have any meetings. So if anyone's interested, Ryan, if you'd like to do that, have at it. But
I'll let you have it for a year, then maybe I'll do it next year.
that seems fair. I feel like I still owe some time.
There you go.
I nominate Heather Lewis for vice chair.
Okay, we have support. Okay. All right, it's been moved and supported to renominate Heather Lewis as chairperson of the committee. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Heather, yes. Heather Lewis, I vote yes.
Charlene Douglas, yes.
All right, the motion passes. All right, myself, Rob Moore, and Heather Lewis will be the chairperson and vice chairperson, respectively, of the Charter Review Committee for the remainder of 2021. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the confidence.
Congratulations.
All right, that moves us on to approval of our agenda. Do we have any discussion or a motion to approve?
I do move to approve the agenda.
right, do we have support?
I support.
All right, it's been moved and supported to approve the meeting agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. I vote yes.
Heather Lewis, I vote yes.
Ryan Everett, I vote yes.
Carolyn Douglas, yes.
All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you just did that. My apologies. I'll get with it. I'm sorry. All right, the motion is approved. We have an approved agenda. All right, that moves us on to approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which, believe it or not, was January 28th of 2020. It's been quite some time. A few things happened since then. All right, is there a discussion of the minutes or a motion to approve them?
I move to approve the minutes.
All right, do we have support?
Support that, even though Lord knows I don't remember what happened back then.
That's only been 13 months. All right, it's moved and supported to approve the minutes from our last meeting from January of 2020. Unless there's discussion, we'll proceed to vote. I, Rob Moore, vote yes.
Ryan Everett, vote yes.
Heather Lewis, vote yes.
Carolyn Douglas, yes.
All right, the minutes are approved. All right, that leads us on to unfinished business. Primarily what we're doing for this meeting is mostly focusing on the proposed charter amendments that we had. Initially, the idea at the time was to get them on the ballot for November of 2020. The clerk's office, however, was concerned about the overall length of the ballot for the presidential election years. So the decision was made to pull those amendments with the idea of getting them on the ballot for November of this year, 2021. So since it's been 13 months since we last met, it would be a good idea to go ahead and kind of look them over again and kind of like give them any discussion, just to kind of refamiliarize ourselves with what the proposed amendments are. And Mark, if you don't mind, would you mind going through them here, please?
No, I don't mind walking through them. So this memoranda was going to be presented to the City Commission August 10th, 2020, but it was pulled because of the concerns of the clerk's office over the overall length of the ballot, which I think in Royal Oak, we had a double-sided ballot back in November. And that makes it impractical for people to see the drop-off rate between the front of the ballot and the back of the ballot is huge. So there was even concern about whether or not having a two-page ballot. So it was not added to the City Commission's agenda. But there are 4 things that it was going to present. And before I get into those, each of the habit of these Michigan Attorney General's office and our office is that we send these the proposed language of the ballot proposal along, typically with the memo like this to the AG's office, where we get informal assistance and or informal opinions of whether or not they think it passes Michigan Constitutional and Home Rule City Act muster. So these have all had informal approval by the AG's office. So what they are, the first one is a proposal amending the charter to acknowledge state law and elections. Apparently, about 3 years ago now, the electors changed the recall procedures to follow state law. Royal Oak did not exactly follow the recall provisions of the state law under the election laws, and so it looked like it could have created an issue. Your committee decided to address that matter, and that was passed by the electors. So in a continuing review, there were also some other provisions in the charter. And so it was decided by the committee to add a provision making it clear that Michigan election law supersedes any other provisions in the city charter that might be might contravene state law. The next proposal is relatively minor, but it's important for the assessor. Currently, the city charter requires the assessor personally to attend the board of reviews in March, which can be lengthy and doesn't necessarily require his or her attendance. So the current city assessor, James Geierman, asked us to add a provision where he could add his designee, which is already the current practice anyways, but just to make sure there aren't any challenges, that was also put forward. The next amendment, I believe this was before the electors before, to eliminate the office or the requirement that the city appoint a public health officer and have a public health office. As far as I can tell, I don't think the city's had a public health officer since the 50s or maybe the 60s, from what I could dig up. And the city no longer conducts, has a public health office. That those duties have been transferred over to the county. The county is now primarily responsible for those issues here. So there were several sections that needed to be deleted. So, and one section completely deleted, and that was sent over to the AG and approved informally. And then next is pretty much, this one took some time for the to put together. This is recognizing what the city commission already does when there's a vacancy in the office of the mayor. Should the mayor leave for various different reasons, there were issues concerning what happens to the mayor's vacancy. If they resign, can they go back to that vacancy? If someone else is appointed or the mayor's not reelected, can they try to go jump back? This recognizes the traditions that the city commission has had for decades, that the mayor pro tem, the position, if there's a vacancy, the position will be filled by the mayor pro tem, who shall resign as a city commissioner and hold the office of the mayor until the next biennial election. That's been pretty much the tradition that the city's been doing. Probably the better, that's the better legal interpretation, but it's never been codified. So all four of these have been reviewed. Apparently, I sent you a version with a mistake in it. At the very first, it says that the memorandum also includes discussing the provision where requiring certain city commissioners to resign from office as a condition for running for mayor. That's not the case. This is like version 99.1, and I should have sent you version 99.2. So that's my summary.
All right, thank you, Mark. And as per the memorandum, these have already been approved and everything, so we don't need to take any specific action on these tonight.
No, not at all, unless you want to.
So Mark,
Okay.
Mark, I have a question. This last one is honestly new to me. I don't recall discussing it. So the implication is, let's say I am 1 year into my term, I'm the mayor pro tem, and the mayor resigns, and I take her position and then give up my seat on the commission. And the mayor has 1 year, or is in the middle of, or a second year of her term. So instead of now having 3 years on the commission, I have 1 year to run as mayor, and then I have to turn around and run again for commission?
No, you would give up your seat on this as a commissioner and take the seat of mayor.
Right. But if I'm mayor and no longer a commissioner, and my term as mayor expires 6 months later, now I'm not a commissioner and I have to rerun for a seat on the commission?
Yes. No, not on the commission first. Well,
I like
for the mayor commission, yes. For the mayor's seat.
there are people who don't want to be mayor, and being mayor pro tem is a nothing burger job. It's almost like being assistant co-chair or vice chair of this committee, right? So it kind of, it's sort of a disincentive for someone to accept the position of mayor pro tem.
I agree with that analysis. Yes, it could be a disincentive for somebody to want to take that title.
So the city commission has to approve all of this before it goes forward, right?
Correct.
Well, I look forward to that discussion.
I think that's the reason why we didn't put the provision where it requires resignation for mayoral candidates coming from the commission. I think that's why we didn't include this number 5.
So that was so the provision about that you just mentioned.
That was discussed last year and the year before. It's been discussed earlier. I have a memo somewhere analyzing the 1960 something analysis that the then Charter Review Committee put together. They had a majority report, and for the first time I've ever seen, a minority report discussing the reasons why they would want to or not want to have a commissioner necessarily resign before they could run for mayor. The majority report was that this would eliminate politics out of commission meetings. Of course, the minority report added that it would be nothing but politics. So there's been talk over the years about removing that provision. I was asked to do a legal analysis on that provision to see if it was constitutional and or complied with the Home Rule City Act. And my conclusion was that it was constitutional. And even though I didn't like it, but it was constitutional, and that it complied with the Home Rule City Act.
So the status quo is that to run for mayor, you have to resign from the commission?
Yes, within a certain time frame. I think the deadline is in August.
Yeah, I thought we had put that on the ballot.
Yeah, Mark, I think 2017 we got that on the ballot, and if I remember correctly, that passed. I don't think that's the case anymore.
I'm telling you, in the last 3 years, I've gone through 2 major infections and 7 months off of work. I may have well forgotten all of that.
I think Rob is right. I think that passed.
Yeah, let me, I can consult it here really quick, but yeah, I'm virtually certain that that was back in 2017 that that requirement was eliminated.
That would explain why my memorandum started that way, because I probably copied and pasted it.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah. I'm here.
No, Ron, not Rob.
Oh, I thought you said Rob.
Ron's on board.
Oh, hi, Ron.
You're muted, Ron.
Nice to see everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. We're just, we're on unfinished business. We're going over the proposed amendments right now. We're talking about the one where the mayor pro tem will become mayor if the mayor was no longer be able to serve in that capacity. That's where we're at right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I'm checking right now, but I'm virtually certain that it was 2017. We eliminated that requirement for resignation.
2017, I wasn't around for the election. I was, can guarantee you I was in the hospital. That's me. That's probably why I don't recall that.
Just flipping through what I have here with me.
Latest charter. Yeah, let me get my copy out.
Yeah, it would be chapter 3, section 3.
Chapter 3, section 3, what page you have?
I've got C5. I've got the actual paper copy. Yeah, because it was amended, yeah, July 24th, 2017.
Yeah, I see that now. Yep. That's when all my nonsense started for that year. Yeah. I apologize. I didn't recall that.
No, yeah, because that immediately struck a bell because I know that we had discussed that for a while in the committee, and I remember that was the case that had gone before the commission and whatnot. Because I remember like Mayor Fournier joking, "It's like, yeah, I've got my eyes on all of you." So that's yeah, so it's okay. So but no, it's no problem. It was a while ago. I understand. So it's
So
kind of
just to address Commissioner Douglas's concerns here, I mean, this is the date and time you can look at that fourth provision and change your recommendation to the city commission. But it was approved. Actually, I think you might have voted nay on this issue, but it wouldn't have gone forward unless it was approved by the CRC.
okay.
Chapter 3, section 3, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we confirm that?
What are you looking to confirm, Robert?
Just to make sure that the design provision was out because I know it was 2017 was the year.
I'm looking at. I just downloaded the most current charter from General Code, and amended and adopted 7/24/17.
Okay, yeah, that was the same one I had. I had the paper copy.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. So continue discussion. So so regarding the overall amendments, and is there anything else that people want to discuss as far as the rest of the amendments go? Or, I mean, do we want to like decide like whether or not to bring them before the commission like in the immediate term, or how does everyone else feel on this? What direction would you like to take here?
I would say with the exception of the last one that I'm not completely, I would like more discussion on. I'm good with all of the other ones, the health officer, all those other ones are fine for me.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, what we could do is we could have a meeting next month as well, just kind of finalize what we want to do as far as recommendations to the city commission. And then once we have the cohesive recommendation as a whole, we could then approach the commission with that because Mark, I believe that you had like a discussion item on the New Civic Foundation. There was a possibility of a recommendation for an amendment for that one as well.
Well, Mr. Chair, if you want me to discuss that a little bit right now, I can.
Oh, yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'm glad Char's here too. I was speaking with the interim city attorney, Ann McLaughlin, who's been doing a lot of work on various technical issues with the Royal Oak Civic Foundation and budgets. One of the things that we noticed that she noticed in the city's charter does not specifically say that the city can form a charitable organization, although it is specifically allowed by the Home Rule City Act. So we thought that it would be a good idea to include that language from the Home Rule City Act to specifically allowing the city of Royal Oak to establish charitable works or charitable foundation. I mean, we would just essentially copy the language from the Home Rule City Act. The only thing, like the most difficult part about writing this would simply be the ballot language, the call of the question on the ballot, to make it user-friendly for the elector, for the voter.
So it would essentially be kind of housekeeping, but it would still have to go to before the ballot nonetheless.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just putting this out there for discussion. What we could do is we could delay the overall, since we've already approved these, we could delay putting this before the commission at least for one more month. And Mark, would 30 days or so be enough lead time to get language together for that possibility for an amendment, assuming this is the direction we want to go forward?
Yeah, more than enough time. Yes.
Okay. All right. What does everybody would think about this possibility, adding this amendment as well?
Mark, are there any negatives to having that amendment added since it's already in the home rules? Just clarifies it better for local people?
It would eliminate any potential challenges to, I'm kind of surprised at how quickly the Royal Oak Civic Foundation has been able to ramp up with its work. And I mean, Commissioner Douglas has been, and the rest of the people have been doing a lot of work on it. It's surprising to me how much money is actually going through it. And so you don't want to give anybody a potential challenge.
Good. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a reason why we shouldn't do it.
Oh,
There's all the reasons to do it.
right.
No reasons not to. Okay.
It's specifically allowed in the Home Rule City Act. Has a whole big section on things that are specifically allowed, and another section on things that are specifically not allowed.
Great. Then it sounds great to me. Sounds like a really good idea.
Yes, as a trustee of the foundation, I agree.
So why, this is a suggestion, why don't we for next month's meeting keep these as discussion items? We'll have a further discussion about the pro tem amendment, and we will have a ballot amendment for the Civic Foundation for Chapter 1. Does that sound good to everyone? Or
Do we have to do a motion to have Mr. List prepare that for us? I can't remember if that's something we've
It's a
done.
good idea.
So in that case, I would move to, I guess, instruct Mr. List of the City Attorney's Office to prepare the language for a proposed amendment. Let me see the language to specifically allow the city to establish charitable foundation.
I second.
A third.
okay, it's been moved and supported to authorize the city attorney to prepare aforementioned ballot language. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. I, Rob Moore, vote yes.
I, Heather Lewis, vote yes.
Yes.
Ryan Everett, yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, the motion is approved. So again, we will discuss that at our March meeting as well, or we can go from there. All right. Is there any further discussion on the proposed amendments?
Hey, Rob.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Deanna.
Just this memo that we got from Mark with the chapter 10, section 3. The charter review voted to have city clerk shall act as secretary of said board to struck from that. And it's still on the memo, so I just might want to have that removed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and take that off then.
I apologize for bringing this up. You might have already discussed this. Obviously, there's some objections to this, Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a particular objection to a part of it, or that we could work on, or was there some discussion that we're going to need to have more discussion, or would there be potentially some amendment that we could propose so that we could fix it for next month?
What about, Ms. Douglas, what about making it optional or voluntary, or the person who's the mayor pro tem can decline the nomination or decline accepting the office of the mayor?
Yes, that's an excellent amendment.
Yeah.
And then it would, I don't know, maybe go by seniority.
Yeah, then what do you do after that? I mean, what if everybody says no?
You appoint the city attorney, the mayor. No way.
Is the part of the issue here about the resignation? Is that part of the issue?
Yes.
So it also, you could get rid of the resignation. No?
But the issue boils down to there's some question about what happens with the sitting commissioner's unexpired term. So you have Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem X, who then becomes mayor, and Commissioner X's seat either stays open because there's no deadline on when it has to be filled unless it goes to the next election. So Commissioner X, who becomes Mayor X, can then fill out the remainder of the mayor's term for 6 months, and then find themselves either having to run for a re-election for the mayor's position, or having resigned, having to wait 2 years to run for city commission again.
So would it be possible to have to word this in a way where this mayor pro tem was acting in the role of mayor? In other words, they would stay a commissioner.
It's
They would
state
act in the
commissioner,
role of
then
mayor.
you would have a vacant seat until the next election for commissioner. So it would be 6 commissioners until the next election. Now that's happened before, but that's within the discretion of the city commission.
Well, so could you, I mean, let us say that, because I'm not a fan of leaving the seat open for a period of time. If the mayor pro tem ascends to the role of mayor and the commission appoints someone, they could appoint someone to fill out, to serve until the mayor, until a mayor is elected and the mayor pro tem moves back into his or her seat.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I'd have to check and see. Well, what's going on in my brain right now, there's only certain ways that you can vacate a seat by law. And does this automatically trigger a vacancy in the seat? Or if you can create another post called acting mayor. I think it's doable. I think I just need to make sure, because there's only like 5 ways you can vacate a seat. End of term, death, resignation, the governor removes the mayor on petition of the legislative assembly, recall. And I think that's about it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, in fact, I got the notes in front of me now, back in 2013, when Ron did that research as far as mayoral secession unexpected and whatnot. Most of them, yeah, Mark, as you mentioned, are kind of like along those same lines. It's pretty simple. I know Port Huron was the most extensive. I mean, they've got 8 separate categories
Yeah.
that would define absence. So yeah, it's I know this is something that we've been kind of working on for quite some time. So I mean, personally, the way I see it, if we took a little bit longer on this one, I don't think it would make too much of a deal for the most part in the long run. So I mean, I would personally be comfortable, like, bringing this back next month and talking about it a bit further, getting the language refined and whatnot. So
What is the committee's direction on?
Well, I might just suggest, Mark, it sounds like you're starting to percolate a few ideas about the general concept here, so that if you could try to bring back further development of those ideas, that would be helpful, rather than start from scratch at the next meeting.
Sure.
Because maybe there is some way of like an acting role, or solve the problem without creating a new problem. Maybe there is.
Yeah, that would be my question. Like, can we have an acting mayor? I think that's,
I haven't seen any information out there that would preclude it, which would make me think that you can.
and would that, I guess like Commissioner Douglas can clarify, but would that fix the issues you think would happen in real life with the commissioners and the mayor? Commissioner Douglas. You're muted.
I got it. It seems like it would, but I realize there are technicalities here. So you've got an acting mayor, but you still have the problem of whether or not you're going to bring yourself up to a full 7 commissioners. So it's more like you'd have an acting commissioner.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, an acting mayor and an acting commissioner.
Well, your mayor pro tem would become mayor, have the title of mayor, which I suspect they have to. But you would have the category of acting commissioner. I'm just winging this, but
You definitely need somebody who has the title of mayor, because the city charter, under a number of different provisions, requires the mayor and the clerk's signature for all official documents. In fact, in addition to the clerk, if you want to file a lawsuit against the city, the mayor is one of the people you can serve.
yeah.
all right, so yeah, so Mark, if you're confident that like roughly 30 days time would be enough to kind of bring back a few ideas and some recommendations for us, I'm comfortable again just holding off until next month until we get the language to a point where we kind of move forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of exciting.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you,
So
Mark.
so thanks, Mark. Yeah. So again, we've got the mayor pro tem language, and we've got the civic foundation language that we'll be discussing at our next meeting. And it sounds like we're okay with the rest of the amendments. So. All right.
FYI, I will not be at that meeting.
Okay.
I don't think it's maybe. What's the date of the meeting? March 23rd?
Well, we gotta figure that out. It's usually the 4th Tuesday, but if there's a conflict, we could move it. So.
You know what? I'm mistaken. I will be back by then.
Okay.
Going to visit Cancun?
Did anybody see there was a editorial in the New York Times where someone referred to, Ted Cruz R-Cancun?
Yes. Actually, they meant Calgary, where he was born.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So.
He did not not revoke, but the sort of the opposite of revoking. He did not denounce his Canadian citizenship until he ran for president. And I'm like, how do you run for president if you're citizens of two countries?
Yeah, but I mean, for weather related reasons, I don't know. I mean, 54 degrees, if it stays like this, you might not have to go. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take this in February. Yeah.
I guess the question is, can you be president of two countries at the same time?
Would be it.
That might be beyond our scope, but, but I'm sure it's happened. I mean, back in Europe, I mean, you had monarchs sitting on a couple thrones simultaneously.
true.
Austria-Hungary, you had Karl Joseph, who was the emperor of Austria and king of Hungary, right up until
that's right.
he died. So,
You might recall that King George V abdicated all his German titles at the start of World War One.
yeah, the House of Hanover became the House of Windsor overnight,
Overnight.
just like that.
The relatives in Moscow were very disappointed.
Yeah, not to mention the ones in Germany. Yeah. So okay. If everybody's okay with this, we'll bring back those two amendments at our next meeting. So, okay, moving. Unless anybody has any further discussion on the amendments, we'll go ahead and move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to bring forward? Okay. Just kind of something I'd like to kind of like talk about, assuming that we get amendments on this fall's ballot, and I have every confidence that we will. We'll be doing our standard outreach through WROK and social media and whatnot, but the Zoom has kind of opened up a few things too as well in terms of webinars, potential outreach as well. Something I kind of maybe like as an idea just to kick around here a little bit. I know we were kind of talking about it a while back, is some sort of like an explanation to the community about the amendment process to kind of let people know like exactly kind of what goes into this. I know, I'm not sure if he'd be available or not, but I know we were talking about maybe if George Ellsworth from the state AG's office might be possible. I don't know if he's got something he can like put forward. Just kind of a possibility. So just kind of something to consider perhaps further down the line sometime this year, possibly. So.
Yeah, the city, of course, at least for the past several times that we've had charter amendments, has done a mailing, has spent the money on an informational mailing. I will certainly make a case for that. When you when you ask people how they want to get information from the city, they want to get it in the mail. That's the universal appeal. And so if we can give them, put into their hands this important information, I think we should absolutely do that.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's good at least, let people know. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, this is what's going to be coming on the ballot. I mean, if you have any questions, here are the venues to get more information and whatnot. So yeah, we certainly should do a mailing, assuming that the commission's okay with that. We could go ahead and do that. So, okay. But yeah, again, I just kind of wanted to get that out there just for discussion purposes. So.
But I do like the idea. I mean, so one of the things that we're seeing sort of in community engagement around Michigan is that digital meetings, virtual meetings like this work when you're trying to reach out to people. Yes, there are people who would prefer to come in person, but there are people who don't want to go out on a wintry night or, leave the house at 7 o'clock and do appreciate this opportunity. So what one hopes is that the state legislature will make permanent the portion of the Open Meetings Act that allows communities to use these digital tools, because I can see a scenario where by June 1, the legislature says, nope, all your meetings have to be in person now. And I welcome that. I mean, for sure, but I would also welcome having the ability to inform people digitally. Although now, when I think about it, and Mark can weigh in on this, I mean, if we're not making any decisions, if we're just presenting information, what says we can't use a tool like this to do that, Mark?
You can use it. There's nothing that says recall when the Civic Center project was moving forward, and Todd Fenton, the police chief, the city manager, and I think there was a fourth person, did a video broadcast of the proposals for the new police department and for the new city hall. It's been done before also with commissioners who wanted to, it's probably going back 15 years, with city commissioners, maybe less than that, who recorded their thoughts on millage proposals. There's nothing that prevents it.
Cool.
I mean, if especially would be fine if it was a more factual presentation, but elected officials have a vested interest or a right to present their opinions, especially in a forum like in a public forum. So not to say that that's just to say that you're not going to be violating the Campaign Finance Act by having the city finance or support or broadcast a meeting. City Campaign Finance Act prohibits the city from advocating for a proposal one way or another. But as elected officials, you have the right and the duty to advocate for your positions. And that does not violate the Campaign Finance Act.
So certainly the Charter Review Committee having a digital meeting like this one and having guest speakers to talk factually about the nature of the proposals and the nature of the charter itself would be not only allowed, but valuable.
Yes.
Cool.
Even if we were back in person, we could still live stream for the people that didn't want to come in and ask questions. And I think generally the younger people might be more apt to send in questions via chat or, things like that, as opposed to actually speaking.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could get various folks from the community engaged who, otherwise wouldn't engage like in an in-person meeting, or just might not be aware of exactly what it is that goes into the charter amendment process, or just awareness of the charter committee in general, or the charter in general. So, I mean, there's a few possibilities we could work with here. So, I just kind of wanted to get the ball rolling here and see if anyone had any ideas. Just obviously we've got some time on this, but there's a few things we could do this year. So. All right. Is there any further new business? All right. Well, I think we've got most of our state of business done. Is there anything? Oh yeah, we've got our set our next meeting date. Usually that would be the fourth Tuesday. Ms. Schwanger, does that present a conflict for you? Or?
I think she's gone. She's running another meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, she said you had to be there at 7. Well, we'll okay, if she's not here, we'll communicate by email. And so we'll just plan on meeting again next month towards probably the 4th week. If our usual 4th Tuesday is not available, we'll just we'll try again for the 4th Wednesday at 5:30 if that works for everybody. So just go from there. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
It does.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just keep an eye on your emails, and we'll just have the date set up. Is there anything further to come before the committee meeting this evening? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to adjourn the Charter Review Committee. I vote yes. Rob Moore.
Second.
Heather Lewis, yes.
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 Okay, all right. Okay, it's a unanimous vote. We are adjourned. The Miss will gavel. It was great to see everybody. I'm glad that everybody's doing well. I know it's been an interesting 13 months since we last met, but it was good to get together. It was good to see all of you again. I think it's good to be productive again too. So we've got a few things to work on. We've got a few things to do going forward. Yeah, I have every confidence we'll get some amendments on the ballot this fall. Looking forward to getting them before the commission once we have them all agreed upon and language formulated and going from there. But again, it was great to see everybody.
Thank you,
Agreed.
Ralph.
Take care, everyone. Nice to see you again.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.